President Trump, if you see this, please save us. I don't even see our American flag anymore. God is talking with some kind of crazy flag. This is America. This is our land. Please, President Trump. Please, I hope you have a plan. But God, please save us. Save us from the devil, please. Yo, I'm about to have a panic attack. This is our country. Our country. This is awful. God, please save us, please.
Welcome to the Hedgehog Watchdog. I'm Devin Saxon, joined by Greg Baldwin. We're the meme team behind Libertarian Party of South Dakota and South Dakotans Against Prohibition. Today's episode, as always, is brought to you by Pinkcoin. You can check them out at pinkcoin.com. Awesome show today. We're going to be talking about Trump's final pardons, as well as Biden's first executive orders. So I figure oh yeah, go ahead, Greg. Sorry.
No, just a lot going on this week.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to put the here, just 1 second. I'll get the list up, but I forgot to put the invite link in the description before we went live. But yeah, I figure we'll go through the Trump's pardons, and then Greg and I are gonna give them a rating on how libertarian they were. I know that we didn't get the pardons that we were looking for.
Yeah, I think we were 0 for 5.
Yeah, we didn't get any of the pardons we were looking for.
Yeah, we had a show a couple weeks ago where we talked about pardons we would like to see Trump do, and yeah, we didn't get any of the ones we wanted.
So, okay, no, we don't want to start that. We want to start on January something.
Well, I don't know. I would almost say like November or something.
November? Year. Okay, yeah. All right, well, give me 1 second. Let me get this link up here in the description of these videos. I don't know if it's going to show up now that we're already live. But, oh, well. If not, maybe we could just manually...
Phone number too. You can call in. You can always call in.
I always forget something. Okay. Yeah, it's not gonna work.
All right. To recap of the pardons we would have liked to have seen was Leonard Peltier, a local guy here. Who else? Snowden, Assange,
Ross Ulbricht. Yeah, that was my big one I wanted to see done.
So yeah, we didn't get any of those.
But
Joe Exotic, we didn't get Joe. And Joe went so far as to he was so confident that he was going to get a presidential pardon that they rented a stretch limo and had a stretch limo sitting outside of the prison.
Yeah, I saw that. That's some confidence. And then he said he was too gay to get a pardon from Donald Trump or something. But yeah, okay. So you want to start in November then?
Yeah, we can do that. His final ones anyway, you know.
All right. Here's the first one from November. We've got Michael Flynn, pardoned November 25th, 2020. Retired U.S. Army Lieutenant General and former Trump National Security Advisor, pleaded guilty in 2017 to false statements for lying to the FBI about 2 conversations with then Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak during the transition period following Trump's election. Was attempting to withdraw his guilty plea, and the Justice Department was attempting to dismiss the case when pardoned for any and all offenses within the jurisdiction of the Mueller probe. General Flynn should not require a pardon. He's an innocent man, says the White House. So
I don't get why he needed a pardon if the Justice Department was going to drop
I don't know. I don't consider lying to the FBI to be a crime. They lie to us all the time. So I'm going to give this a 1 thumbs up libertarian rating. What about you, Greg?
Yeah, lying to Congress shouldn't, or the FBI shouldn't really be a crime.
Let's see. We got some comments. We got CJ says, "Evening, gents." Good evening, CJ. Glad you're back safe. We all thought that you might have gotten kidnapped by federales. Good to see you back in South Dakota. Roger Sanchez says, "Let's go." All right, continuing on with the list. We've got Phil Lyman. He is a Republican Utah state representative who's pardoned on December 22nd, 2020, convicted in 2015 of conspiracy and violating federal land policy and management for leading a protest of about 50 ATV riders through Recapture Canyon, home to Native American archaeological sites. Served 10 days in prison and 3 years probation before being pardoned. So let's see. This sounds a little more complicated. Who owns the land? If the federal government owns this land, I'm going to rate this a 1 thumbs up. But if it's the Native Americans that own this land, which I'm just going to say it's them, I'm going to give this a 1 thumbs down libertarian pardon rating.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, I read through this list earlier, and I stopped about where we started, but all the ones earlier, you start to see a pattern. I mean, he pardoned a lot of Republican operatives. Like, these people are Republicans, but were charged with crimes, and a lot of these people weren't even in prison at the time. They just got their records wiped. But anyway, yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. If it's the Native Americans' land, then it's a property rights issue.
Yeah.
And most likely the federal government might own it, but it was stolen from the Native Americans.
Yeah. The federal government has no business owning property at all.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah. All right.
Without knowing more of the case, it's hard to say.
Yeah, we're gonna doing this like flash through this stuff, so we're not really gonna go too detailed. I guess you've been studying up on the South Dakotan pardons, maybe. We can go into a little bit of detail on the ones from South Dakota, because I think 5 people from South Dakota were pardoned.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're on this list or not, but if they're not, I got a link for that.
Otis Gordon, pardoned December 22nd as well, convicted in the early 1990s of 2 counts of possession with intent to distribute a total of more than 4 kilos of cocaine in South Carolina, served a 7-year prison sentence, and became the pastor who led a prayer service at the U.S. Capitol following the 2015 Charleston church massacre before being pardoned. I'm against the drug war in its entirely. I'm going to give this a 2 thumbs up libertarian rating. What about you, Greg?
Yep. Yeah, anytime you can pardon someone for a victimless crime.
Yeah. Moving on. Got our first 2 thumbs upper. Weldon Angelos, pardoned December 22nd. Former music producer who worked with rapper Snoop Dogg, convicted in 2004 of 16 counts of drug and gun charges after selling a half-pound of pot to an informant in Salt Lake City on 3 separate occasions while affiliated with the Vario Loco Town Gang. Nice. It's a nice name for a gang, I think. It's a good band name, I would say also. Served 13 years of a mandatory minimum. Sorry, losing my voice here. 55-year prison sentence before it was reduced to time served in 2016. Again, I don't think there should be any regulation. Think there should be no infringement on the right to bear arms. I'm like totally against the not the gun war, the drug war. I'm going to give this a 2 thumbs up as well.
Yeah, this is a good pardon. If every time I sold a half pound of pot when I was 18 years old, and that would land me 55 years in prison, I mean, geez, you wouldn't even be talking to me right now. So that's ridiculous. It's pot. And those gun charges, again, the federal government and the states, they love to charge people because you got caught with drugs with an extra charge for the guns.
Yeah.
When you could very well be a legal gun owner and they would still say that you unlawfully possessed, the firearms, which we all know all gun laws are an infringement. So
yeah, I think it's bullcrap that they bump up the charges just because you have like that kid in Sioux Falls who's got charged with murder just because he was getting robbed. Like he was selling his marijuana and then he was getting robbed. And he pulled out a gun and defended himself, and now he's being charged with murder. It's like, that's bullcrap, in my opinion. All right. Do you want to read this one, Greg? I'm going to pour myself a drink, I think. Can you read that on your screen?
Well, here, I got it. I got it. Well, I'll look at yours. So, Dutch lawyer and son-in-law of Russian oligarch German Khan pleaded guilty in 2018 to lying to the FBI during the Mueller probe about his contacts with former Trump 2016 campaign aide Rick Gates and former Russian spy Konstantin Kilimnik. Served a 30-day prison term before being pardoned. Van der Zwaan was charged with a process-related crime and voluntarily returned to the United States to correct his statements. That's just process-related crime, and it's to correct his statements. It sounds to me like it was just another one of those witch hunts under the Mueller probe and under the Russiagate.
Yeah, again, I don't think lying to the FBI is a crime, in my opinion. I'm going to give this a 1 thumbs up.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly what he lied about, but I know in some of these cases it's literally one of the guys he gave a pardon to, one of Trump's buddies or whatever, literally got a date wrong, and they charged him with lying. So
yeah,
I don't know about you, but if the FBI was talking to me right now, I'd probably get a lot of dates wrong, a lot of.
All right, moving on. George Papadopoulos. I hope I pronounced that right. Former Trump 2016 campaign foreign policy advisor pleaded guilty in 2017 to lying to the FBI again during the Mueller probe about his contacts with people who claim to have Russian dirt on Hillary Clinton. Served a 14-day prison term before being pardoned. At the time, Mr. Papadopoulos allegedly made false statements. He was not represented by counsel, and after he was arrested, Mr. Papadopoulos gave additional information on his prior statements to the special counsel, the White House said. 1 thumb up. Lying to the FBI, I don't care about that at all, and
Yeah,
I didn't buy the bull crap Russian conspiracy that the Democrats pushed. I think it's funny how
everyone that was convicted of lying. That's it. If they weren't actually convicted of crimes, really, it was just lying to the government. And it's like, no, that's not a crime.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but it's not a crime.
Yeah, government lies to us every day. So
that's the thing. You'll never see a politician being charged with lying.
Yeah. Switch account here in a second. I'm going to try to put the link in our YouTube channel. All right, I'll read this one first, though. Former Republican U.S. representative from upstate New York. Oh, that's Chris Collins, pardoned December 22nd. Upstate New York, who was the first member of Congress to endorse Trump's 2016 campaign, pleaded guilty in 2019 to conspiracy to commit securities fraud and false statements in connection with an inside trading scheme that involved passing information to his son, Cameron, during a 2017 congressional picnic on the South Lawn of the White House. Served about 2 months of his 26-month sentence before being pardoned. Collins was pardoned at the request of many members of Congress, the White House said. Well, I'm going to give this a 1 thumbs down on that last sentence, that this was requested by many members of Congress. I don't trust many members of Congress at all. I don't know how I feel.
Something shady.
I don't know what really what the libertarian position is on insider trading. I would say the government doing it, I would be against it myself, because the government obviously has privy to information that not regular people have, top secret stuff. I don't know about like a private citizen. I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on that one.
Yeah, that's just part of the.
I think, it's just part of the risk of gambling in the stock market, in my opinion. Like,
that's why I was people call it the Wall Street casino, and that's what it is. In a lot of ways, it's just So insider trading, it's just giving somebody a tip a little bit too early or something, according to the government, essentially.
Yeah. Let's see here now. Duncan Hunter, pardoned December 22nd. Former Republican U.S. representative of California.
A lot of Republicans on this.
Yeah. Pleaded guilty in 2019 to conspiracy to steal campaign funds for illegally spending more than $150,000 in political donations so he and his wife, Margaret, could enjoy vacations and restaurant meals while deeply in debt. And so he could allegedly engage in affairs with lobbyists and a staffer. He avoided serving a 11-month prison sentence that was set to start January 4th. Again, Hunter's pardon was requested by many members of Congress and supported by the former Federal Election Commission chairman, Bradley Smith, who said the case could have been resolved without criminal prosecution, the White House said. That's theft, I would say. Stealing from people that donated to you for your political campaign. That coupled with that many members of Congress supported this, which I don't support many members of Congress, so they're probably wrong. I'm gonna give this 2 thumbs down. I'm like 1 thumb down or 2 thumbs down. I'm gonna lean towards a 2 thumbs down on this one.
I don't know. I don't know if I'll go that far. Because there's got to be some election laws that really, who cares? In a libertarian free market society, if I want to donate to Joe Blow's campaign, should it even matter to me what Joe Blow does with that money?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Maybe I should change mine to 1 thumbs down. You pushed me to 1 thumbs down. I'm gonna do 1 thumbs down and save my 2 thumbs down for something really bad.
Because there's a lot of dumb laws where, I think individual donors can only donate like $5,000 to campaigns, things like that. And so people find loopholes. They figure out ways to donate more than the $5,000.
Yeah.
But should there even be a $5,000 limit? Like if somebody you you can self-fund your own campaign with as much money as you want, but if you wanted to get a campaign donation, like the max that dude could give you would be 5,000. And
Mhm.
but who cares? Why do I care? What if the guy wants to give me 50,000?
Yeah.
You know, why should I mean, honestly, why should we care, you know?
Yeah, that's just something that maybe his constituents should have taken up. Maybe they should have filed a civil lawsuit against him to get their money back if they weren't
Yeah.
down for paying for his extramarital affairs. Um,
Yeah, I mean, definitely some of this stuff can be fraud though. I mean, you're wasting $150,000
mhm.
and yeah, if none of it went to your campaign, I mean.
What a
But, you
bunch of
know,
bull. All these
but
people out there in California, I want you to donate to a libertarian campaign because you're not going to have to deal with this bull crap that you deal with when you donate to Republicans. Like, get real. How do you spend $150,000 on dinners, anyways? Like, really? I mean, how? Like, what do you, is he going out to like a 5-star restaurant for 3 meals a day? Like, what's going on there? I don't know if I buy that. I think he might have been lying about what he spent that money on. Let's get going. Alfonso Costa, pardoned December 22nd, a former Pittsburgh dentist, developer, and friend of Housing Secretary Ben Carson, pleaded guilty in 2007 to healthcare fraud for scamming $45,000 in dental insurance payments. Served 3 years probation, including 1 year of home confinement. What? You stole $45,000 and you'd only got 1 year of home confinement. Jesus, man.
yeah, that's that white collar crime
Yeah,
there.
that's some bull crap, dude. He's still a Snicker bar. You go away for like a year.
Yeah, this one's a tough one because it kind of depends on who he was scamming.
Mm-hmm.
If it was like Medicare or Medicaid,
Sounds
or
like
was
he
it
was taking.
private health insurance?
Yeah, like, I'm not sure if it was private or public insurance. It seems to me like it was. He might have collected dental insurance payments, but then didn't provide dental insurance. He just kind of pocketed that money.
Yeah, what they usually do in a situation like that is they bill out for a bunch of extra services that they never actually provided, and they get caught, and that's how. And so, you know, at the end of the day, this is a fraud.
Mm-hmm.
It's fraud and it's theft from somebody. Now, it's either theft from the taxpayers or it's theft from an insurance company. But either way, it's theft. So I would probably give this one 2 thumbs down.
Yeah, fraud is definitely a violation of the NAP. So I'm also going to give this 2 thumbs down. This is not a good pardon. If you're a libertarian, this is not a libertarian pardon at all.
Why should he even have been pardoned anyways? He got a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
He got 3 years probation and 1 year of house arrest.
Yeah.
So basically, by being pardoned, all they did was they took that felony off his record. But why does this guy get a second chance? You know, I mean, there's millions of people that deserve a second chance.
Yeah, just because he's friends with Housing Secretary Ben Carson. That's a good friend to have right there. Nicholas Slatton, Paul Slow, Evan Liberty, and Dustin Hurd pardoned December 22nd. I'm not sure why all 4 of these are included in the same one. Oh, okay. Former Blackwater military contractors. All right. Convicted in 2014 on various counts of murder, manslaughter, weapons charges, and the killings of 14 Iraqi civilians outside Baghdad's Green Zone. Slatton retried and convicted again of murder in 2018. Slatton was sentenced to life in prison. Slow, Liberty, and Hurd were sentenced to 15, 14, and 12 and a half years, respectively. All served about 5 years in prison before being pardoned. So this was a full pardon. This wasn't a commutation or clemency. So he's basically like, these are murderers, in my opinion. I remember this case happening when I was a teenager. This is one of the major cases that turned public opinion against the Iraq War. If you're not familiar with it, basically you had 2 Blackwater crews that thought each other were like one Blackwater crew thought the other Blackwater crew were Iraqi insurgents. So they started firing at each other. Civilians were caught in the crossfire. I'm going to give this 3 thumbs down. I don't know if that's a possible rating, but this is a very unlibertarian pardon. These people deserve to serve their time. They're murderers. They took innocent lives. Can you imagine?
Yeah, 14 people. 14 people isn't an accident.
Yeah, that's more than the Charleston shooter. Like, yeah, can you imagine if like somebody shot 14 people in the United States and they got pardoned? Like, no, this is bull crap.
Well, that's the other thing. They were private contractors. They were not part of the military. And the rules of engagement for our military is pretty strict.
Mm-hmm.
So you know these people were not following the same strict guidelines as our troops were. Yeah, 14 people is a massacre. You know, and I don't know if 5 years is enough.
That's more than the Boston massacre. So yeah, this is I would say they all deserve life in prison, in my opinion. Moving on. Jose Copian and Ignacio Ramos, if I pronounced that correctly, pardoned December 22nd. Former Border Patrol agents convicted in 2006 of multiple charges, including assault and tampering with an official proceeding for covering up the non-fatal shooting of a Mexican drug smuggler near the border of Texas. Copian and Ramos were sentenced to 12 and 11 years in prison, respectively, and each served about 2 years before then President George W. Bush commuted their sentences in 2009. They had the support of 100 members of Congress, as well as U.S. Border Control Foundation and the Conservative Legal Defense and Education Fund, the White House said. So I'm going to give this a 2 thumbs down. Firstly, I'm against the Border Patrol completely. I think they should be disbanded as a federal department. To know that a law enforcement official was tampering with evidence to cover up a crime committed by said government agents, that's just bad mojo right there. That should be treated extra. That should be an extra sentence, in my opinion. I don't know why we're giving government officials slaps on the wrist. They already had their sentences commuted, so there's no reason to pardon these people. So yeah, definitely 2 thumbs down for me. There's a lot more people out there that deserve a pardon than these motherfuckers.
Yeah, they didn't need their records wiped clean, I can tell you that. They were already commuted, yeah, like you said.
We got some comments here. Let me read them out here. All right, I'll read the comments. The FBI called me because I posted on Facebook that Kristi Noem, Jonathan, Mike Rounds, and Dusty Johnson should be on trial, Nuremberg style. Yeah, that'd be scary getting the FBI calling you just because you want justice from government officials. I think the FBI should be investigating Mike Rounds for EB5 scandal. You should be investigating Mike Rounds for the murder of John. What was his name? Brendan. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot this name. A second, I'm looking it up though. It's going to bother me. It was a South Dakota economic developer or whatever. Richard Benda. So I think the FBI should be investigating Mike Rounds for the murder of Richard Benda, who was found out in the woods with a crater in his side. They ruled that a suicide. He couldn't even have pulled the trigger with the gun that was found next to him because it was like a long barrel rifle. The coroner said that he put the rifle up against a tree and push the trigger with a stick, which doesn't make any sense at all. They blamed him all for like $50 million in EB-5 money going missing. And that was all signed off on by Mike Rounds while he was our governor. He's currently our senator in South Dakota. So I guess in your South Dakota Republican Party, crime pays. Marijuana. Roger Sanchez says marijuana is not a victimless crime. It makes people listen and support fish.
Yeah, fish is a tough one. My brother is a big fish fan.
Is he? Well, I'm against fish now. Just kidding. I actually cooked at this diner way back in the day, downtown Sioux Falls, and this guy always played fish songs. Like for like your whole like 9-hour shift, you'd be flipping burgers and listening to fish. And their songs don't ever end, dude. You can't even tell when the song ends. It just keeps going and going. You're just like, what is going on? He's like, you can't. Is this on repeat or what's going on, man? And then he got really mad. Like they get really defensive if you talk crap about fish. Like fish fans love fish, and if you talk crap about it, you're on their death list.
Yeah, I've went to a couple of their concerts before. The drugs are great, but the music, it's great while you're on.
The music requires drugs.
Yeah, it really does. But you'll be at the concert or whatever, and like 30 minutes will go by, and you'll think it's a totally different song. And then all of a sudden, they come back to some chorus or something, and you're like, holy cow, this is the same song from 30 minutes ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Roger Sanchez says, I give Greg Baldwin 2 thumbs up and a popcorn. Awesome. What's a popcorn equal to? Is that like a fraction of a thumbs up? I'm gonna say it is. I'm gonna say a popcorn is like 3/4 of a thumbs up.
His old buddy Corn Pop.
Is this on repeat? No, that's the song. Yo, that's fish for you. All right, let's go on to the next item on the list here. Alfred Lee Crum. That's a good name. Crum. I like it. Pleaded guilty in 1952. Whoa, how old is this guy? Pleaded guilty in 1952 to illegally operating a still. I already know how I'm going to vote on this, I think. Unlawful possession of a still and operating without bond for helping his wife's uncle making moonshine in Oklahoma at age 19. Served 3 years of probation before being pardoned. Crum is still married to the same woman, raised 4 kids, has attended the same church for 60 years, had the support of the U.S. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rodenstein and U.S. Attorney for Eastern District of Oklahoma, Brian Kustner. Yeah, this is a 2 thumbs up for me. I've got major praise for anybody making a legal moonshine. I would even say that may be the birth of the libertarian movement if you want to be, I don't know, abstract about it. I know the party was created in 1971, but you have to imagine everybody that was like, screw the government, I'm making moonshine, was pretty libertarian minded. So yeah, this is a good pardon. I didn't even
it's a good pardon, but it's probably like 50 years too late.
Yeah, like way too late. Way too late. What do you rate this as, Greg?
Yeah, it's 2 thumbs up. You should have definitely should have never charged him in the first place, and then you're about 60 years late on the pardon, but yeah, it's a good pardon.
Yeah, I mean, like illegally operating a still, I think that's more draconian than the British to begin with. Like, really, what's worse to you, Greg? A tax on tea or the government charging you with like federal crimes for operating a still? I don't know. I think the colonists would go batshit crazy if we went back in time and told them that the government that they were going to create is going to arrest people for operating a still. There might have been 2 revolutions.
There's still a bunch of dry counties in the country that don't allow alcohol sales. Pine Ridge in South Dakota is one of them.
Yeah.
Or that's not the county, but you know what I'm talking about.
Philip S. Formas, sentenced, commuted. December 22nd, 2020. Former owner of nursing homes and assisted living centers in Chicago and Miami. Convicted in 2019 of 20 charges, including conspiracy to defraud the U.S. and U.S. money laundering for scamming more than $1.3 billion in payments for Medicare and Medicaid through an 18-year bribery and kickback scheme. Wow. 1.3 billion. And what was his how much did he serve? 4.5 years. Wow.
Yeah, that's ridiculous that this guy got a pardon. And then right below that, it says this guy, 52, is in declining health with quotes. Well, you know what? When they let him out, they should have sent him to that nursing home. And made him stay there on house arrest. But
yeah, think about all the people in declining health that he ripped off.
Well, not only that, but as libertarians, we can say that these programs shouldn't exist, but we also shouldn't be defrauding these programs, because that 1.3 billion that you defrauded the American taxpayer, that money could have went to help other people also.
That's theft from the American taxpayer. This is a definite 2 thumbs down for me.
Basically ripping off old people.
If I was a president, I would do the anti-pardon on this mother effer, and I would send him for life if that was even possible. Probably not. Probably violates due process, but whatever. This guy, 4.5 years. Come on.
Yeah,
you deserve that 20-year sentence.
And you're gonna pretend that this guy is in declining health.
Yeah, look at this guy
at 52 years old. Bullshit.
He's not
bullshit.
Yeah.
Or most people's health does tend to decline when they've done 4.5 years in prison. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
He ain't special.
Let's see. Steve Stockman, sentence commuted, December 22nd.
Another Republican.
Former Republican U.S. representative from Texas. What's with all these U.S. representatives being in prison? And then is that why they like this? This is incentive to commit crimes when you're a Republican congressman. If you know that the worst you can do is maybe you have bad timing and you serve a couple years in prison before you get your pardon. But most of these people aren't serving any time before they're getting pardons. They're all U.S. representatives. They should know better. Convicted in 2018 of 23 counts, including mail fraud and wire fraud for using phony charities to solicit more than $1.2 million from donors, and then spent the money in part on his political campaigns, including a failed 2014 bid for U.S. Senate. Come on, man.
Yeah, this is a little bit different. This is a little bit different than the campaign one earlier. This is you defrauding people, saying money's going to a charity.
This is the worst crime imaginable. Money crime. Yeah. Like, get real, dude. This is what gives capitalism a bad name, because everybody doesn't trust charities because of crap like this. Served more than 2 years of a 10-year sentence. 10-year sentence? People serve more time than that for stealing less money.
Yeah, 1.2 million for if you told me I could do 5 years in prison for like $1 million, I don't know, I might do it.
Yeah, dude. Stockman, who has pre-existing health conditions, contracted COVID-19 in prison. And his release was on humanitarian and compassionate for his victims. No, dude, this is a 2 thumbs down for me. Big 2 thumbs down. This is a horrible pardon.
6 thumbs down.
Like, what happened to all the cocaine and marijuana dealers? Like Paul Manafort. Pardon December 23rd. Veteran Republican political operative and former chairman of Trump's 2016 campaign, convicted in 2018 of 8 charges, including tax fraud and bank fraud, and a series of scams to fund a lavish lifestyle that notably included buying a $15,000 custom-made ostrich jacket. Also pleaded guilty in 2018 to conspiracy against the United States and conspiracy to obstruct justice in connection with lobbying on behalf of the Ukrainian government. Served 2 years of a combined 7.5-year sentence before being released to home confinement in May due to the coronavirus pandemic.
I love how all these rich white Republicans get to go home because of Corona.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's probably 1 million black people in federal prison right now, and not a damn one of them was let out because of the coronavirus.
Yeah, for victimless crimes too.
Apparently, it really affects the old white Republicans.
Manafort, whose prosecutions were a result of the Mueller probe, has endured years of unfair treatment as is one of the most prominent victims of what has been revealed to be perhaps the greatest witch hunt in American history, the White House said. So, here, this one's a little difficult to me because I don't believe in tax fraud being a crime.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to be neutral on this because I don't know what bank fraud he committed.
Yeah, what kind of bank fraud? I'm gonna actually read the first couple sentences of this article to see. Former campaign chairman Paul Manafort on Tuesday was found guilty of hiding tens of millions of dollars from the IRS. That's not a crime, in my opinion. A stunning fall from grace for the once all-powerful political operative. The jury found Manafort guilty of 8 charges, but failed to reach a consensus on 10 over 4 days of deliberation. Okay, so his bank fraud charges, there were that was for failure to disclose foreign bank accounts. So that's not a crime to me. Government doesn't have any business knowing where your bank accounts are.
Yeah.
I would give this a 2 thumbs up if he wasn't another Republican that's kind of wearing me down. I'm going to give this a 1 thumbs up.
Yeah, 1 thumbs up.
Let's keep going. Margaret Hunter. Pardon, December 23rd, 2020. Oh my God, you remember John Boner? Wow, what happened to that guy? I remember that he passed this really unpopular spending bill that he promised he wouldn't support, and then he resigned from his right after that. I was like, man, what a joke. Anyways, estranged wife, a former U.S. Representative Duncan Hunter. Okay, so this is a guy. Duncan Hunter was also pardoned. This is his wife. Pleaded guilty in 2019 to conspiracy and the theft of her husband's campaign funds. Admitted that some of the money paid for airfare for the family's pet rabbit, Egbert. Oh, God. Wow. Interesting. Served 4 months of her 8-month sentence of home confinement and 3 years of probation before being pardoned. Former federal election commissioner Bradley Smith said her prosecution should have been treated as a civil case. Okay, so this goes again to that case where they used all his campaign funding for their personal stuff. And Greg convinced me from rating that from a 2 thumbs down to a 1 thumbs down. So I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to do a 1 thumbs down. Yeah, I think if we did live in an ideal libertarian society, you would get to use whatever money was donated to you for whatever purpose you deemed fit. There wouldn't be all these federal election laws.
I think maybe with her, it says that conspiracy in the theft of her husband's campaign funds. So
yeah,
I don't know if she was running around spending the money without permission. I mean, it could be.
Yeah, that might even be a little bit worse. I think that would still be like a 1 thumbs down, even if that was the case too.
Yeah.
So 1 thumbs down for this lady. This is not a very libertarian pardon. Charles Kushner, real estate developer and father of Jared Kushner, husband of Trump's daughter Ivanka Trump. So this looks like, oh, this guy's in the family. That's probably why I got his pardon. That's not going to reflect positively on my rating scale. Let's keep going. Pleaded guilty in 2004 to 16 counts of assisting in the filing of false tax returns. I personally don't think that's a crime at all. I think it's actually patriotic when you don't file your tax returns. I think we should all stop filing our tax returns. But all do it at the same time. You don't want to like trickle in, because then the people that start are going to get arrested. But if we all do it at the same time, they can't arrest all of us. You know what I'm saying, Greg?
Everyone should start.
Yeah, we're probably going to get banned for me saying that, but whatever. One count of making false statements to the Federal Election Commission. I don't believe lying to federal government agents is a crime at all. I think it's patriotic to lie to the government since they're lying to us. We have no obligation to tell them the truth whatsoever on any issue. One count of making false statements to the FEC and on court and retaliating against a cooperating witness, his sister, by arranging the videotaped seduction of her husband by a prostitute. Oh my God. So he got like a honeypot against a witness that was going to testify against him for a crime I don't really think is a crime at all. I think it's pretty cold-hearted to go against your sister like that. Arranging a prostitute to like hook up with her husband. I don't know, man. That's gonna take one thumb off of my 2 thumbs up I was gonna give this guy. So we're down to 1 thumb minimum unless I read anything bad in the next couple bullet points here. Served a 2-year prison sentence before being pardoned. Kushner has been devoted to important full tramp. Whatever.
Yeah, who cares?
I'm not even gonna read that part. It's a bunch of White House statements. So I'm gonna give this a 1 thumbs up. I would have given this a 2 thumbs up if he wasn't such a cruel bastard. That's just a personal vendetta for me. I don't even know if that should go with my rating system, but whatever. I'm gonna do a 1 thumbs up. I think this is a slightly okay libertarian pardon.
Yeah, I will too.
There are a lot of better ones out there. There's a lot worse ones out there. So this is like a good 1 thumbs up, I would say. All right, we're almost done. We've got William Plemons pardoned December 23rd, 2020. Convicted in 1995 of 3 counts to embezzlement, 1 count of structuring transactions to evade reporting requirements with several accomplices in Georgia. Pleaded guilty in 2002 to wire fraud and $1.1 million worth of insurance scams with an accomplice in Georgia. Served a concurrent 27-month sentence before being paroled. I'm going to go... not a lot of facts in this case. Embezzlement, obviously, was a crime. It looks like he went in this with private business partners and he might have defrauded them. Frauds also against the NAP. Just because there could be worse pardons like the Blackwater crew, I'm not going to give it a 2 thumbs down. I'm going to give it a 1 thumb down. What about you, Greg? Did I lose you?
Yeah, I was just reading it again because he was actually convicted twice.
Yeah, here.
Once in 1995 and then again in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Again, insurance scams. I mean, if you're pulling insurance scams, that actually hurts everybody because everyone else's insurance rates go up because of this asshole.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You know, I mean, after 18 years, you know, maybe it's okay that it gets off his record. I doubt he's still in prison, you know.
Greg's unsure about this one. That's okay. These are I got a lot more to go through.
Yeah.
Topeka Kimberly Sam pardoned December 23rd, 2020. Pleaded guilty in 2012 to conspiracy to possess and intent to distribute more than 5 kilos of cocaine as part of a drug trafficking ring busted in Virginia. Served 4 1/3 year sentence and was freed early from 5 years of supervised release before being pardoned.
Well, she got lucky then, but
Yeah, that she got hell lucky.
yeah, I'd say it's a good pardon.
Yeah, this is definitely a good pardon. I'm like totally against the drug war, like I said before. I don't think it's a crime to traffic drugs. I don't think it's a crime to have 5 kilos of cocaine. I don't care what you do. 2 thumbs up for me.
Yeah.
If I was president, I would be pardoning everybody with a drug crime, just straight across the board. Drug and any gun crime would be, unless it's like you shot somebody. Like if you just got charged, if you got arrested just for having a gun and you weren't supposed to, yeah, you'd get a pardon from me, definitely. Peter Atkinson and John Boltby pardoned December 23rd. Former Hollinger International executives and co-defendants of former CEO Conrad Black. Each was convicted in 2007 of mail fraud. Served as sentences of time served less than a year each. It doesn't say how much money was stolen, which kind of helps with my ratings a little bit, but respectfully, before being pardoned. So they only served a year before they were pardoned.
Again, it's just a white collar crime. You barely do any time, and then now you're getting pardoned.
Yeah, you know, this is definitely.
I need to know more about their mail fraud, though, to know if they actually deserved prison or not. But
yeah, this is definitely 1 thumb down for me.
Since it says fraud, yeah, 1 thumb down.
I might do 2 thumbs down if I knew more details on the mail fraud, but we don't have
mail
enough
fraud
time.
could literally mean
it can mean anything when the government says like I don't even know. So I'll do a safe 1 thumb down. Let's see how much we got. Okay, we're about 3/4 of the way down through these. Andrew Warden pardoned December 23rd, 2020. Pleaded guilty in 1995 to wire fraud and stock trading scam. Served 2 years probation before being pardoned. Warden made mistakes in running an investment firm he founded after graduating from college, but voluntarily stopped his wrongful conduct and began to repay his victims before any criminal charges were filed. And has since exhibited a decades-long commitment to philanthropy. Okay, so I don't know, dude.
I'll give it a thumbs up since he was already voluntarily fixing his mistakes and paying back victims. Because that's one of those situations where the government, it costs money to incarcerate someone in prison. Mm-hmm. So if a guy can actually make restitution to his victims and pay them back, then maybe we don't need to be wasting taxpayer money sending them to prison. I don't know. I'll give it a thumbs up.
Greg gives this a 1 thumbs up. I'm going to give it a 1 thumbs down just because he committed theft. And that will balance out with Greg's thumbs up. And that'll be like a 0 thumb. Perfect. I don't really, there's not a lot of details on this. I can't really comment too much on this case. I just think wire frauds, they committed fraud against private investors. So it's kind of, there's a little more deserving people out there. All the cocaine
another
dealers.
Republican.
Yeah, another. Mary McCartney, pardoned December 23rd, 2020. Former Republican member of the Palm Beach County, Florida Board of Commissioners. Pleaded guilty in 2009 to conspiracy to commit honest services fraud for a $300,000 plus corruption scheme in which she steered government business to her husband, Kevin. Oh my God. This always happens, man. This is why we got to gut the government. I mean, it's basically just all the government is just a big fraud so they can help your personal friends. That's all it is. Like all these elected people just help their friends and family. And you can tell that a lot with these pardon lists. But anyways, my rant over. Let me keep reading. let's see, committed honest services fraud for a $300,000 plus corruption scheme in which she steered government business to her husband, Kevin, and got free or cut rate luxury stays in Key West and Delray Beach from a developer vying for a contract to build a convention center, hotel, and parking garage. Served 42-month prison sentence before being pardoned. Wait. I want to read this last. I usually don't read these last bullets because it's just what stupid U.S. representatives say that I don't care about. But this one kind of looks funny. Since her conviction, the U.S. Supreme Court has reinterpreted the crime of honest services fraud, meaning that Miss McCartney's conduct might not be criminally prosecuted today, according to the White House. My God, dude, that's really depressing. So we found out that if you are a government official in Palm Beach, Florida, that you can use your position in government to get your own family good deals in the private sector. This is just so sour tasting, man. I'm just so pissed off just reading about all that. I'm gonna give this a 2 thumbs down. This is bull crap. Use your position in the government to get yourself to award yourself. That's like the lowest bar, the lowest thing you can do. No, she does not deserve a pardon at all. Period. And it's irritating to me that the government would make it not a crime for you to be in government and to award yourself with good business contracts because you have that position of power. That's just fascist as hell to me. Yeah, what do you say? What do you think, Greg?
Well, I'm not exactly sure why it wasn't a state crime and why exactly
Yeah.
federal crime. I don't know. But yeah, everything you said, using your position of power to
Doesn't that just piss you off, dude? I just want to knock my microphone over, dude. It's like, ugh. It just irritates me, man. This is why you gotta elect libertarians, dude. Like, this is the reason why I'm involved with the Libertarian Party is stuff like this, because it just pisses me off. I'm so sick of seeing it. It happens all the time. It's always the same parties that do it. Anyhow, rant over. What are your rating, Greg? Let me see your thumbs. 1 thumb down. All right, that's good. James Kassoff, Cleveland real estate developer and parking lot owner, pleaded guilty in 1999 to making false tax returns amid a trial at which the judge refused to exclude evidence of his net worth. I don't think that's a crime at all. Served 1 year probation and 4 months of home confinement for being pardoned. Following his conviction, he devoted extensive time and resources to supporting causes such as Doctors Without Borders, Red Cross, his local church and fire department, also dedicated to revitalizing the city of Cleveland, the White House said. I'm going to give this a 2 thumbs up. I'm all about pardoning people who committed non-crimes regarding tax returns. Taxes are theft, taxes are extortion. There should be no taxes. We should be having a voluntary donation-based society, which we can do. And it's not a crazy theory. What about you, Greg? What's your position?
Yeah, I agree. Good pardon, I guess.
All right, here we go. Jesse Benton and John Tate. I like when they couple 2 together. That makes the list go by faster. Former campaign chairman and campaign manager, respectively, for then U.S. Representative Ron Paul. Ooh, Ron Paul, okay. Convicted in 2016 of 4 counts, including causing false campaign contribution reports. I don't think that's a crime. I don't think you should have had to file how much your contributions to your campaign were to the government at all. The funneling $73,000 to an Iowa state senator who switched sides and endorsed Paul 6 days before the state's first in the nation caucuses. That's a little complex for me. I don't see that as being a crime either, really. It's getting convenient. It's kind of annoying. Like if you were to donate to a senator and then they switch parties on you, I don't know. That happens to libertarians all the time, though. You know, I've donated to libertarians that have switched to become Republicans.
Yeah, I don't.
Pisses me off, man. Pisses me off.
I don't understand it because in South Dakota, you can donate to a Republican legislator, and that Republican can in turn go out and give that money to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's totally legal here, so I guess I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't. Iowa's got some crazy. You can't even shoot fireworks off in Iowa. Like Iowa's bad mojo. But if you want to move to a rural state, you want to move to South Dakota, yo. We got legalized weed now. You can buy a gun in like 40 seconds, like literally 40 seconds. I timed it the last time I bought one. Yeah, that's awesome. South Dakota is a great place to come move to. Let's see. Each served 6 months of home confinement, 2 years of probation for being pardoned. Blah, blah, blah. Rand Paul supports this, obviously. It's Ron Paul's son. So, yeah, I'm going to give this a 2 thumbs up. I don't believe in I don't believe in reporting what people have donated to you. Like, it's so annoying to me that you got to collect, when you're running for office, you got to collect people's employer information. Even that's bull crap, dude. That's just way invasive. Like, who cares who you work for when you donate to somebody? Like, what does that matter? What about you, Greg?
I have no idea. You gotta ask the Democrats and Republicans to vote and then don't follow them.
Yeah, they don't follow them themselves. They write it for us. It's just laws for us, not for them. And if they get caught up in the law, and they created victims, stolen billions of dollars, millions of dollars, they're gonna get a pardon. Don't have to worry about them. They don't have to worry about their situations. Would you rate this? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up.
Excuse me. Let's see. This one's really short. Christopher Michael Wade. Christopher. Here, do you want to read this one, dude? I'm having a coughing fit, Greg. I just
Christopher Michael Wade, pardoned December 23rd, 2020. Case was filed in the Southern District of New York in 2016, but all records are sealed. So we don't even know what the hell it's about. The White House said Wade pleaded guilty to various cyber crimes, served 2 years of probation, and has showed remorse and sought to make his community a safer place.
Yeah, there's not a lot of information on this. I don't really know if I can rate this with the lack of bullet points. I guess whoever wrote this article kind of slacked off on this one.
Well, and various cyber crimes could totally be.
Yeah, that's so open to mean anything.
Yeah, it could be a crime with an actual victim.
Mm-hmm.
If you hacked the website, if you stole information, if you committed identity theft, if you those are actual crimes. So I'm going to give this one a thumbs down, but I really don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, based on the very little information we have, I'm going to follow Greg's lead here and do a thumbs down also. Yeah, let's just keep going. Let's get through this, cruise through these. We haven't got to January yet. I don't even know.
Yeah,
didn't he just part?
So many.
Yeah.
December.
Let me. Okay, where are we at? We're at Joseph Stevens. Let me just go.
Read the first 2 bullet points. We don't really need to read the third one.
Yeah.
And I noticed it doesn't even cover some of the fun ones we wanted to cover.
Yeah, let's just skip to January. Okay, we got a lot. There's like so many parts. We're gonna skip to January. Here we go. Let's do. Here we go. We can do this fast list. How long have we been on so far? Oh yeah, we're an hour, so we got to get through this list. Or we're not going to get to talk about Joe Biden's executive orders. All right, so here's Trump's. If you want to go through this article, it's a New York Post article It's pretty good. It's got basically like the most detailed one I've been able to find that you don't have to pay for from like the New York Times or whatever. But yeah, check out the New York Post. Trump presidential pardons full list. We went through a bunch of them from December. We're going to speed through these ones from January now. Trump's final rounds of pardons. These came January 19th, 2021. Steve Bannon. This is the one everybody's kind of been talking about. Trump's former top campaign aide and White House strategist arrested for an alleged scam involving private donations to build a border wall with Mexico. I'm going to rate this 2 thumbs down because I think, when you scam, again, this is like another thing where you're scamming donors. You're not delivering what you say you're going to deliver. That's fraud. All libertarians know when you sign the non-aggression principle, when you become a libertarian, you are the non-aggression principle includes fraud. So this is just a 2 thumbs down for me based on that. What about you, Greg?
Yeah, I'll give it 2 thumbs down too. For those that don't know, everyone probably knows, but yeah, him and some other guy created a GoFundMe page to build the wall like a year ago or whatever, and it got like a million or couple $1 million in donations, and yeah, basically they just took a bunch of money out and spent it on themselves, which is clearly fraud. So.
Yeah, that's a bunch of bullcrap, dude. I thought Steve Bannon and Trump had beef. Or do you think that was just some fake bullcrap, some Hollywood, some Washington, D.C. Hollywood faking acting?
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah. Elliot Browity, I don't know how to pronounce that. The former deputy national finance chair, the Republican National Committee, was convicted on 1 count of conspiracy to serve as an unregistered agent of foreign principal. Here, I'm just gonna briefly read. Oh no, don't go to the next article. All right, whatever. Well, let's read the first sentence to kind of get a little more detail on this. No, it's not even the article that I wanted to read. All right, so let's go back. I meant to open up a new. Here is it still showing? Okay, cool. I meant to open up just a new tab on that, but whatever. Scroll back down here. And we got some from South Dakota that we got to talk about too. God damn it.
Yeah, just go through that list real quick. If we can't,
We'll
if we don't know nothing about them, we don't have nothing to say. We don't have nothing to say. Oh, well.
Yeah, we'll do the highlights of the last the final pardons that he issued. And there's not even details on a lot of these people. So Steve Bannon, we got 2 thumbs down for me. I think Greg gave that 2 thumbs down to, or maybe 1 thumbs down. I forgot. Elliot Brody. I'm not familiar with that case. I'm gonna give it a 1 thumbs down.
Yeah, just because he's the Republican National Committee, he's getting a thumbs down. It's cronyism. You giving your buddies a pardon.
Ken Kurson, a political consultant and friend of Jared Kushner, is charged with cyber stalking in connection to a bitter divorce. I actually kind of read up on this before we aired, and the person he was cyber stalking even wanted him to be pardoned because she thought that it was a political prosecution. I don't know if she was pressured to say that because they know the Kushner family is not against even putting a honeypot against their own family members to tamper with witnesses, which we read with Jared Kushner's father and his sister. I'm gonna say I'm sick of cyber stalkers. They're kind of creepy. They creep me out. I don't like simps. I'm gonna give this a 1 thumbs down. A lot more better people they can pardon.
I don't really know how it's again, I don't really get whether it's a federal offense,
yeah. Quam Kilpatrick. This is a pretty notorious case back in the day. This is the former mayor of Detroit who went to prison for racketeering and bribery while he was in office. This is like all over the news back in the day. I think this happened. Oh man, had it been at least 10 years ago, maybe more. He served 7 years in prison. This is a 2 thumbs down for me. You know, racketeering, bribery, like no, using your government position to commit crimes is like the ultimate bad mojo for me. Totally against that. Lil Wayne. This is another one everybody's been talking about. It's probably the only one everybody's been talking about. Rapper whose real name is Dwayne Michael Carter Jr. pled guilty to possession of a firearm and ammunition by a convicted felon, and owing to a conviction over 10 years ago. Yeah, this is a 2 thumbs up pardon for me. I don't think, like, if you've served your time for whatever crime you've done, you should be able to have a firearm again, period. Like, I don't believe in firearm crimes at all. No infringement. I'm like a purist, Second Amendment purist. I can't believe I have to say that. It's so clear. On the Second Amendment, it's so clear. And like your right to bear arms shall not be infringed. Like, I don't see how that could be misconstrued to you lose your right to bear arms just because you're a convicted felon. That's bullcrap.
Yeah, I agree. 2 thumbs up.
Rapper Kodak Black. The rapper whose real name is Bill Capri. Yeah, that's a way better rap name than real name, bro. Was sentenced to 46 months in prison for making a false statement on a federal document. That's not. Man, how is it a crime to make a false statement to the federal government? I just don't see. They make false statements to us like literally every day, multiple times a day. If we do it to them, they're going to send us to jail. No, 2 thumbs up. I would pardon everybody who's made a false statement to the federal government if I was president. Like, nah.
Yeah, I don't remember for sure. I think his case might have been the document. The false statement was a gun license or something like that. Because I know if you lie on a gun license or a gun application,
yeah,
like if you have felonies and you try to get a gun and you write that you didn't have felonies, even if they're pending, that's a felony.
Yeah, that's some bull. That shouldn't be a felony. So
I actually knew somebody that was I met somebody once that told me he had been charged with something. He wasn't convicted yet, and he went and tried to get a gun or buy a gun, and that's exactly what they gave him, like a year in federal prison for lying on that application.
Jesus Christ, dude, that's insane. You get a year, you're in prison for lying, but if you steal $1.3 billion, you get the same sentence and a pardon. Some bull crap right there.
Go big or go
home. This one was kind of interesting, I thought. I kind of read up a little bit on this one. Anthony Lewandowski, an entrepreneur and former Google engineer, was sentenced to 18 months in prison for stealing documents from Google's self-driving car unit. Waymo. Oh, that's the name of the driving car unit, Waymo. Before he went to work for the ride-hailing giant Uber. And Uber was actually sued by Google, and Google won that lawsuit. They scooped up $250 million. So, yeah, I don't know. I would say, this one's tough for me. This is tough. What's the libertarian position on stealing trade secrets? Essentially, basically, you stole Google's intellectual property. I'm assuming Uber was in on the conspiracy. Uber probably was like, yo, man, if you steal this stuff for you, we'll give you a good position here. So I guess this goes into the intellectual property debate. I'm against intellectual property when it comes to medicines. I'm for it when it comes to, like if you write a book, I think you put a lot of work into that. Medicines, I think you should be given maybe like a couple years to sell your medicine without competition. But after that, I don't know. I think my personal opinion, if like for the good, the health of the community. You know, it's good to have competition with medicines because that brings prices down. What do you think, Greg?
I just think this is a case of it's just a case for civil court. It's a breach of contract.
Yeah.
He broke his contract with Google, and then like you said, Google sued Uber and
Hmm.
won and got damages for that.
Yeah.
So then why was he in prison? Again, it's one of those things where it's like, why is this a federal crime? This could just be handled in the civil courts. You know,
Yeah.
if you're my employee and you steal my property, and most of these places you sign confidentiality agreements, you sign contracts with those companies. Well, you broke a contract, but that contract isn't a you broke it, you go to prison contract. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are civil contracts, private. So I don't know. We'll say it's.
I'm
I
gonna
don't know.
give it.
I don't know. I don't know
I'm
if
gonna
I want to give it
say
a thumbs up because he
yeah.
stole.
Yeah,
He
I'm gonna
stole
say
from the
one
one
thumbs
company.
down. I'm gonna just give it one thumbs down. It's a close call on this one though.
He probably shouldn't have went to
Just because I
prison.
don't like Google. That's a personal bias for me. So yeah, I'm gonna give it one thumbs down though. Still, even though I don't like Google. Yeah, I think this is like I don't know anything. Like the next one, it says Robert Zangrillo, Miami venture capitalist, was charged in connection to the Varsity Blues college admission scandal. I'm not familiar with that, so I can't really rate this one. And then all the other ones don't really have details. So I don't know, Greg, if you want to go over the South Dakota ones real quick, and then we'll move on to Biden's executive orders. You want to do that?
Yeah, hold on. I gotta find the article quick.
All right. Do you want me
2
just to share
seconds.
your screen?
Yeah, you can. When I find it, hold on. Oh, I posted a good article for South Dakota a couple days ago. I'm just trying to find it real quick.
I'll check the comments, see if we got any more. No more comments. Uh,
Call in if you got
yeah,
something
call
good.
in. Unless you're a troll and you just want to scream in the microphone, like even then, dude, we're lonely. Call in. Who cares? Screaming at that microphone.
All right,
I
here
know
we
I was
go.
screaming in earlier at a couple of these pardons.
You can share my screen now if you want.
Um, let's see. It's not popping up in the
Well,
studio.
if
You
you
click.
want to, just
You
go
click.
under.
Click share your screen on your end, and then I'll pop it up. But yeah, we had 5 people, I believe, from South Dakota that were pardoned.
Is it on there now?
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go. This is from South Dakota Public Broadcasting. This is a pretty big story, I think, in South Dakota, because one of these pardons, as you can see from this headline, it says Trump pardon wipes out $3 million in restitution to Erickson victims. This is from South Dakota. So I don't know. That's not looking very good to me right now. You got victims already.
Yeah. Here's another Republican that needed pardoned. I think that's probably one of the pretty telling too is that a lot of these pardons, some of these people were unjustly convicted, sure, but a lot of these pardons are just going to these political hacks.
Yeah, these goddamn Goonies. They don't deserve it.
So yeah, this guy
Whoa.
essentially without reading too much.
Greg, your volume just shot up way high. What happened? Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, this guy, I can turn it down, but yeah, to pleaded guilty in 2019 to wire fraud and money laundering. Sentenced to 7 years in prison and ordered to pay more than 50 victims a total of $3 million in restitution. And the key word there is victims. This was a victim crime. He stole from people.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This is looking like a 2 thumbs down for me.
Yeah. for sure.
This is just another crony. It's like another here. Let me make my screen bigger here. It's kind of hard for me to read this. All right.
Oh.
Wow. Restitution list. Here, like go up for a second. Let me read that little sentence. Restitution list. The restitution list is a public document. The victims on the list range from everyday people to well-known figures. The amounts owed to the victims range from $10,000 to $500,000. Wow.
Yeah, one of the
So those people are out of their
names-
money now for sure. Can you imagine being out $500,000 as Trump pardoned some goddamn political hack goonie that deserves to be in prison? Why didn't
it basically goes on to say in the article that that these people could still file basically in civil court, but
that's expensive as hell, dude.
And there's no guarantee that you're going to get your money either.
Yeah, this is big.
With restitution, the government will collect your money, but if you're going to civil court, there's no necessary guarantee.
Yeah.
I don't know who this guy is, but one of the recognizable names is Brent Bozell, a conservative writer, activist, and Fox News contributor who was owed $190,000.
Jeez. So even Republicans are getting burned on this deal.
So yeah, then the 5 other pardons were John Nystrom, who pleaded guilty in 2009 to knowing that a contractor was illegally double billing for work on a tribal school building, but failing to report it. So I give that one a thumbs down. That's fraud.
Yeah, that's a 2 thumbs down for me. Like, come on, committing fraud against Native Americans. Haven't they been through enough? Haven't we done enough to them? And you're gonna defraud them even more?
Yeah.
Give me a break, dude.
And then here's 3 people: Gregory, Deborah, and Martin Jorgensen, who were convicted in 1996 of selling beef they falsely branded as being hormone-free, grass-fed, and having other healthy qualities. Damn, 1996 they were going after people for that? I didn't think they got on that hormone grass-fed crap till the 2000s or something, but
that's false advertising to your customer base. That's not libertarian at all. I'm gonna give that a 1 thumbs down.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess after basically 24 years, I'm not necessarily against them wiping their records clean. But you were right that that's technically fraud, defrauding your customers, telling them it's one thing when it's not. But I am for second chances and wiping people's records after 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years is, man. 20 years seems kind of like a hefty sentence for telling your customer base that it was grass fed, not whatever corn fed or whatever the hell other. I mean, that seems way excessive to me. I'm just rating on how libertarian I feel the pardon would be myself. So that's the only reason I'm leaning towards a thumbs down.
You're right.
I do agree that 20 years is enough time served, though. And if I wasn't a libertarian, I'd probably give it a thumbs up.
The only reason that things like that would even get, in my opinion, like a thumbs down is just because there are thousands of people literally rotting in prison cells right now that needed those pardons. And this person, these 3 people, you're talking about something they did 24 years ago.
Yeah.
Chances are those felonies aren't actually affecting their lives.
Yeah.
Whereas, I'm for Trump should have pardoned like thousands of people. I mean, he shouldn't have, they said 173 in his last final days or whatever, but it's like, that ain't enough. That's a drop in the bucket,
I'd pardon like at least 12 people every day if I was president, because there's way too many people in prison.
Yeah. And then so the last one, Jessica Jean Fries, who pleaded guilty in 2012 to stealing checks from mailboxes and cashing them at a bank where she worked. So definitely a thumbs down because she actually
Yeah.
stole from people.
Yeah, that's a thumbs down for me. It's maybe even like you know, I'm just gonna give this a 2 thumbs down because I'm sick of this bull crap reading this. Like Yuki said, there's so many more deserving people that deserve a pardon than actually people that are creating victims, you know? Like all those cocaine distribution and marijuana distribution people that have been convicted, all of them need to be fucking pardoned. This lady, no. She can serve her time. She knew what she was doing was wrong. Like, give me a break. Give me a break. I'm sick of this white collar privilege bull crap.
Yeah, I don't know what they. Yeah, so that was the 5 from South Dakota that got a pardon from Trump.
Oh, right. So now looks like we got a caller here, Jake P. Jake P, you're on the air. How you doing tonight?
Yo, what's up? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
What's up?
Cool, man. What's happening?
Not much. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Just figured I'd join your stream real quick just to have a conversation to see what's up. What are you guys talking about tonight?
Oh well,
Trump's pardons.
we just wrapped up Trump's pardons. Do you have any comments on any of the pardons that he's dished out on his last day?
If I'm being honest, man, I don't have enough information to really make a comment on it, so I don't think it would be an authentic comment for me to respond. But anything else I could probably comment on.
Well, we're moving on to Biden's first day executive orders, I suppose. Does any of those stick out to you that you remember offhand? I'm going to try to pull up the article real quick that Greg sent me, and then we'll go through them. I don't know if you want to stay on while we go through the list. Where are you from?
So what is it that you guys your channel is basically about? Is it more like political?
Yeah, it's hot.
We're libertarian. Greg's the vice chair of the Libertarian Party of South Dakota. I'm the communications director. So this is definitely a libertarian slanting local news blog where we comment mostly on South Dakota events. Today we're going over some of the national headlines with the pardons and the executive orders. A lot of them actually have to do with South Dakota, including the Keystone XL,
gotcha,
which was halted by Biden. That actually goes through South Dakota, so that actually affected us. 5 pardons were actually from South Dakota as well, from Trump.
I feel you. Yeah, I may have. I'm just going to respectably retract my. This isn't what I expect, but I mean that's cool. Like more power to you guys for doing what you're doing. I just was under a different impression, but I'm probably not going to be able to contribute anything of any value to the conversation. So
well, thanks for calling in.
I'm just being honest, man. I was thinking it was something else, but got you guys. But anyways, yeah, peace out.
All right, man. Thanks for calling in, Jake. Appreciate it. All right. So 17 executive orders and memorandums signed hours after his inauguration. President Biden moved swiftly on Wednesday to dismantle the Trump administration policies his aides have said caused the greatest damage
to the nation. That thing I sent you? Let's just go through the list. Let's not read the article.
Oh, okay.
It'll be better if we just...
I don't know if I can share the list on the screen, but we can just talk through the list for sure. Unless you want to share it on your screen, I don't know. But if I share my screen, if you want
to share it, it's up to you.
Yeah, here I'll share.
I got it written. But...
Here we go.
So this was actually from that article that you were just kind of quoting. I mean, I just figured we wouldn't actually read through the article, but I pulled out 90% of them. There was a couple I left in there because they didn't talk too much about them, or maybe I didn't understand everything about them. But so the first one was the DACA, the Dreamers, the the kids that have, or the
Yeah.
foreign kids that are born in America, and Trump was trying to basically kick them out, take away
Yeah.
their citizenship. And so one of the first things Biden did was sign some executive order to make sure that they can't get deported.
I think I was reading up on that a little bit. I think it was like what? It's like an 8-year plan. And if you like pay your taxes for like 5 years or 4 or 5 years, you can apply for a green card. And then after a couple more years after that, you can apply for citizenship. I think it's too strict, in my opinion. I think there shouldn't be an 8-year plan to get somebody citizenship. I think it should be a year or less. So just because this isn't enough for me, I'm going to give this a 1 thumbs down. And this is because it's not enough. This isn't because I disagree with it. It's because like 8 years to me, this sounds kind of like a Republican compromise plan. You know, this doesn't even seem like a Democrat would put this out. Like, you kidding me? 8 years? Like,
Yeah, he was supposed, like it said in that article, that he wanted Congress to come up with rules.
mhm.
Well, good luck on getting Congress to do
Yeah.
anything. But the other thing kind of went along with that. He reversed the plan to exclude non-citizens in the census. Trump had made a big stink about making sure that we didn't count illegals in the census.
Mhm.
The census for a libertarian is kind of a weird one, I think, because I'm all for, I'm not against like taking account of how many people are in the country or in a district or in a state or whatever. But the big argument for the census is, well, this is how we allocate funds and resources. But that's not what the census was designed for. The census was
Yeah.
designed to keep track of population, to allocate representatives to Congress. That's what it was really for, not to dole out money.
Here, I shared an article on my Facebook page like a couple days ago. Here, I'm going to read so people know exactly what this immigration bill is. On his first day in office, Joe Biden plans to float this is from an immigration bill that could provide approximately 11 million people living in the United States without legal status an 8-year plan to citizenship. Under the bill, undocumented immigrants who pass criminal background checks, pay taxes, and meet other unspecified requirements would become eligible for a green card after 5 years. Here's my question with that. Isn't it a crime to work here without a green card? So how are you going to get your green card after 5 years if you're working here, quote unquote illegally, which I don't think is illegal at all personally. The federal government does because they're corrupt bastards, but I definitely do not. And then it says after you get your green card, there's a 3-year path to naturalization afterwards. So yeah,
I'm back.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the logic. I don't understand how it's going to work. It kind of feels like a scam to me. It kind of feels like when the government said, you can't sell marijuana unless you have a stamp or a license to do so. And then when people went to the federal government to get their license stamp or whatever the hell, they arrested them for committing a crime. That's kind of what it feels like to me that they're going to do here. It's like a trick. It's like, how can you work if you're working without a green card? You're already committing a crime. So how are you going to pass your criminal background check? This seems like some dumb bullcrap Democratic plan. Here's what the plan should be. It should be just like 1 year. You pass an American litmus test where like they ask you some questions about America, and if you can get them right, then you're good to go. I don't see why we have all these restrictions. I don't even know if it should even be a year. I thought this was America when you could just come here like Ellis Island style, get your eyeball checked, get checked up, make sure you don't have any like contagious diseases or anything. Make sure you don't have freaking leprosy. I don't know. And then you're good to go. Like I'm not for any of these government regulations that curb immigration at all. We're all immigrants here. Like everybody.
Not me.
Greg's the whitest Native American you'll ever meet.
In the summer, if I spend a bunch of time outside, I can pass as a native.
But yeah, I'm gonna give this a thumbs down because I don't think this is a libertarian enough plan. I think it's better than Trump's plan. Obviously, Trump was just deporting mother effers, no matter like left and right. I know the Democrats are deporting mother effers left and right too. So like I said, I view this as a Republican plan. Like I don't even see this as like the Democrat. I can't even believe Democrats would support this. This is not democratic. This isn't liberal enough for them, I would say.
Well, that's what you get with Joe Biden.
Yeah, you get a Republican. This is a Dick Cheney. This is a Dick Cheney plan. I'm down for like a shorter time frame, less restrictions. I don't even know if I support green cards. I don't even think you should need a green card. Like if you just want to come to America and get a job right away and not have to deal with the federal government regulations, hell yeah. Hell yeah, that helps our economy, man. Any more that you want to mention on it, or you want to go to the next one?
No, I think you covered it. Here was one of the weird ones, kind of has to do with immigration, though. So one of the executive orders Biden signed was blocks deportation of Liberians, not libertarians, Liberians. And, the only thing that I got to say about that, and the reason I wrote it down, is because one thing that I get so sick of with the government is they always pick winners and losers. And so here you're going to block deportation of Liberians, but continue deporting everyone else. I think it's Africa.
Yeah, here we go. I'm going to read the words. Liberia, officially, the Republic of Liberia is a country on the West African coast. It is bordered by Sierra Leone to its northwest and Guinea to the north. So that's for...
I'm guessing there's probably some sort of a civil war or genocide or something that's going on there. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason they're being nice and blocking deportation. But again, I just, I think it's a little... we always carve out loopholes and we always carve out exceptions. It's like, we're going to deport everyone, but not Liberians. So good for them, I guess,
Greg, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to let you read the next one. I'll be back in like 30 seconds.
All right. So the next one is really big. This is pretty much the issue that got Trump elected in 2016, that he was going to build the wall. He was going to build the wall. And anyway, first thing that Biden did when he came into office was he went ahead and halted construction of the border wall. So apparently that is no more. I look forward to them taking that wall down. No, they won't do that. That's the thing about Biden is he's not progressive at all. And so he may not continue building that wall, but he ain't going to tear it down. We'll ask Devin about the wall if he's got anything to add about the wall. But what about you? You got anything to add to the border wall?
All right, I'm back. Okay, so I really wanted to talk about this one. The halt construction of the border wall. Yeah, I absolutely support this one 100%. This is a 2 thumbs up for me personally. I'm an open borders libertarian all the way through and through. Biden doesn't go far enough, in my opinion. I'm keeping the borders open. Like open borders are critical to a free market. So if you're for a free market, you need to be for open borders. Like I can't stress that enough. Like the Republicans, They're not for a free market. They're for closed borders. Democrats are not for a free market, and they're also for closed borders. The Libertarian Party is for complete open borders. Like you just cross, you literally just walk across the border. Nobody's stopping you. Nobody's asking you questions. That's how I feel that it should be. I know a lot of libertarians in South Dakota are for closed borders. I don't agree with them at all. I want to fight them tooth and nail whenever the subject comes up. But yeah, I missed what you were saying about it. But yeah, I guess I don't even consider myself a radical. I consider this like a moderate opinion. Like to me, it's just like common sense, dude.
I'm okay with I'm okay with some.
Yeah, like
some
slight
restrictions,
just
like
to make sure like nukes don't come across, or
well, like I want to make sure if you're coming to America, you don't have any contagious diseases.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good
I
point.
wouldn't mind checking your background to make sure you're not, wanted on murder charges.
Yeah, I am.
Some common sense.
Yeah,
things,
I am. Yeah, I'm willing to compromise with Greg's plan, like an Ellis Island type plan, where like, okay, like you basically 99% guaranteed to come in unless we check you up and you're like a pedo or you're some murderer or something from another country. But I don't think those people are going to come through legally anyways.
Probably not.
So, all right.
Well, the next one is not a real big one for me. Trump took us out of these Paris climate agreements that there was. And so one of the first things that Biden did was he went ahead and signaled that we're going to rejoin the Paris Climate Accords.
Yeah, climate change is a weird subject for me. It's a controversial subject. If you say the wrong thing about it, you're gonna get a lot of hate mail. But I'll say this. My opinion is that whatever we do, if we're gonna make a plan to fix the climate, if it is man-made caused, that taxation should not be in that plan at all. Like there's no way I would support any plan that has anything to do with raising taxes as some weak attempt to curb the changing climate of the planet. We should be coming up with voluntary solutions to resolve that issue. The government in my opinion, doesn't care about climate change at all. They're just using it as a means to gain more power for themselves and to tax us more money, which they will not spend on climate change initiatives. They'll spend that on war. And if we want to get real about it, if we care about the climate, can you imagine how much gasoline all these tanks and Humvees are guzzling over in Iraq, Afghanistan, all these countries we have military equipment in? Like, come on. End the wars. If you want to change the climate, end the goddamn wars.
I always thought it was stupid how in South Dakota, you got all these highway patrol vehicles that are these quad cab pickup trucks, these big old pickup trucks that probably get 12 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
That the taxpayers paying for you to drive hundreds of miles a day. If you want to talk about reducing climate.
Yeah.
And taxpayer money. But yeah, I'm with you. The government will just use this as an excuse to steal money from us. They will not solve anything. If any solutions are to be made, it will be through innovation in the private sector.
Technical innovation from the private, like exactly what you're saying, dude. It's not going to come from the government. The government doesn't give us solutions. They just want to take our money. And then when they have our money, they're going to spend it on what they want to spend it on. They're not going to spend it on what they said they would spend it on.
It'll also be interesting to see new data over the next 30, 40, 50 years because they always, when they talk about climate change, they always, the earth is, going up by this and this and this temperature. And it's like, modern, I'm blanking on the word. But, the study of weather and
Mhm.
being able to predict weather and actually knowing the weather. We don't have great data 100 years ago. This is kind of new.
Yeah. I
Being
remember Al
able,
Gore saying like all the coastal cities would be underwater now.
yeah.
And it's like, man, you guys keep switching your science up on everybody, and you're the reason why people don't believe it. Because like if you're
I
gonna
think
say something and it doesn't happen, nobody's gonna believe you.
they used to always listen to these podcasts where they made fun of AOC because a year or two ago when she was going around trumping her, talking about her Green New Deal package, she made some stupid statement that said something like, "We're all gonna die in the next 10 years if we don't do something about it right now."
Yeah.
And it's like that's just ridiculous, and it's ridiculous, and that's why people don't really take you serious either.
Yeah. But
All right, so then here's a good one. You like this topic. So the next thing he did, he revoked the permit for the Keystone XL pipeline, South Dakota's own.
yeah, when I was running for Public Utilities Commissioner in South Dakota, I was against the Keystone XL pipeline. It was for different reasons than Joe Biden, like completely different reasons. My reasons for being against it were two reasons, the main reasons. One is that the Keystone XL pipeline relied on eminent domain. So they're using the government to basically steal people's property and give them a crappy deal. You know how eminent domains work. They're not paying people fair to supposed to, but I think you should be being paid extra if the government wants your property and you're just happily living there, want to mind your own business. They shouldn't give you like the retail value. Like no, because if you want to build a pipeline on my property, that means my property is in a higher demand than the average property in the neighborhood. So that means I'm owed more money. They're going to use the government to block their property owners' rights, steal their land, and put a pipeline underneath it. And the second reason I was against the Keystone XL pipeline is because they did lobby the South Dakotan government to violate our constitutional freedom of speech. It's not even a constitutional, it's an unalienable right. So they violated our unalienable right of freedom of speech. They went to a federal court. That's what they ruled as well, that it was unconstitutional to have these riot boosting laws were totally unconstitutional and violated our freedom of speech. And then it was just kind of like a slap on the wrist, like, oh, don't do it again, man. Don't. So it's like, no, that's inexcusable to me. If you lobby our government to violate our rights, that's a no for me. And if that's going to cost South Dakota 1,000 jobs, so be it. Like, I don't want a company to come in and have jobs for people when that company is going to violate our rights. That doesn't say anything good about how they're going to treat their employees either. If they're going to violate the citizens of South Dakota's rights, they're not going to treat their employees with the crap. So yeah, but Biden was against the Keystone XL pipeline because of global warming, and I think that's loose logic. I don't agree with that logic at all. The oil is coming one way or another to those. It's coming through the United States to Texas to those refineries one way or another. It's either going to come from the pipeline or from trains. So now that it's closed down for the pipeline permit's closed. They're just going to ship it to us through the train system, which is basically all the trains are owned by Warren Buffett now. So, I mean, like, that's just shady logic, and it doesn't make any sense because it causes more greenhouse emissions to use a train versus the pipeline. So if your argument is about the environment regarding global climate change, global warming, whatever, the pipeline is actually the better solution than the train system. But again, I'm totally against the Keystone XL. I think they violated our rights. I know the federal court ruled against them, but I'm just not forgiving when it comes to the freedom of speech, particularly. And eminent domain has a very sour taste in my mouth. I know it's constitutional for the government to use eminent domain. I don't think it should be. That's my personal opinion. What about you, Greg? How do you feel about this?
I don't know. I never really had a whole lot of strong opinions about Keystone XL. Um, Other than I will just say we already have a pipeline going through South Dakota. I think it's the Dakota XL
Mhm.
pipeline. And this Keystone XL pipeline, it just kind of comes in at an angle the way it's laid out. Comes in at an angle and it actually meets up with the one pipeline that already exists. So, and I don't know if originally they had designed that because half a dozen years ago, I can't remember. It might even be longer than that now. Uh,
Yeah, they've been trying to do this for at least a decade or longer.
Well,
Yeah.
they were trying to build an oil refinery outside of Elk Point, South Dakota.
Mhm.
And the only reason, and this was big news for like a year or two, they had bought all this land, however many acres. They were going to build this oil refinery. It was going to create like 4,500 construction jobs, and then another. Once it was actually up and running, there was going to be like 2 or 3 thousand regular jobs. Anyway, what ended up happening with that oil refinery was they expected the federal government to give them grant money to build that oil refinery. And once the government didn't want to give them the money, that it just went to shit, and they just didn't build that oil refinery. But what I was going to say is, that's a perfect solution to this is instead of piping all this oil down to the Gulf Coast, why the heck didn't they just build an oil refinery or two up in North Dakota or up in Canada? Or
Yeah.
why are we shipping it thousands of miles?
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's a good point, Greg.
I mean, with all the years and time and money that
Why
they
doesn't Canada just build their own oil refinery? Why do they need a pipeline? Because there's a lot big misconception. A lot of people think that we're gonna get any of this oil and that's gonna lower our energy. No. Canada is literally just gonna ship their oil to Texas to refine it, and then they're gonna ship it to other countries. None of this is coming in America. This is going through our states into other countries. We're not getting any benefit from this other than maybe some jobs that it would provide. But in South Dakota, it's 1,000 jobs. These people violated our rights already. They got busted for it. I don't have any faith that they're going to treat their employees with the crap anyways, because they're not treating the citizens of the state with the crap. They're not treating the Native American community with the crap. And I would argue they have property rights that are being violated by this pipeline as well. So no, this is a 2 thumbs down. Or wait, this is a 2 thumbs up for me. Not for the same reason that Biden is stating that he's doing it, but as a libertarian, there are libertarian reasons that I support regarding the revoking of the permit of the Keystone XL pipeline.
All right, the next one we'll do has kind of the same thing to do with Keystone XL. Temporary moratorium on oil and natural gas leases in Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, ANWR, they call it. But I'm assuming that's new oil and gas leases, and
Yeah.
then the people that already have leases are still good to go.
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
don't like
Yeah, I
that
don't
then at
know.
all. You're
I don't know
breaking up a
either.
little bit. Okay. But yeah, this is conflicting for me. I don't like the idea of oil companies digging up wildlife refuges. I don't know if that's a libertarian. I don't know how libertarian would feel about. I kind of do know how libertarians would feel about it, and I don't know if I agree with it, but yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't
I'm
know. In a libertarian society, you could have some green group or organization literally buy Anwar and just
yeah.
refuse all oil and
Yeah,
gas
dude, that's an
production.
awesome plan, dude. That's the great libertarian plan right there, dude. Like I would support that, and I would donate to that. Like if there was an organization that was buying up all the and buying up land and creating wildlife refuges, I would totally support that. I would help it. The way the government does it, I don't agree with. But I don't know. I'm just gonna give this my personal 1 thumbs up. I think it's a good idea to protect what wildlife refuges we have left. I wish that they were privately owned. I don't believe in government-owned wildlife refuges, and I don't even trust that at all. Like, I believe private people protect their land way more than the government ever has. Like, that's just a fact, in my opinion. So, I know it's a tough one for me. What do you think about it, Greg?
Yeah, it's kind of a tough one. I mean, that Anwar is pretty freaking huge too, and I think some of the oil and gas production is actually offshore. So, how much would it damage the land? I don't know. I think the solution is, like we just said, get rid of the government, get the government out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, if we got the government out of it, this wouldn't even be a difficult decision. This would be like, yeah, you can't build a gas. You're like, this is a privately owned land, and no gas company can come and lease this land. Sorry, we bought this to protect the wildlife.
That's another reason you got to get rid of eminent domain, because then you can't have these people coming in and saying, "Well, we're just going to take the land from you anyways." National security.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Exactly.
All right, so the next one we'll do. Biden did a moratorium on federally guaranteed mortgages and evictions from government subsidized housing. So if you have
that's a mouthful. Yeah.
you have a federally guaranteed mortgage, like a lot of people that are in the military qualify for a special first time home buyers loan.
Yeah.
Basically, the way this executive order works is you can't be evicted. Evictions. I'm assuming it didn't say from government subsidized housing in the article. However, there's absolutely no way that Biden can just sign an executive order that tells me that I can't evict my tenants from my property.
Yeah.
But if your apartment building is government subsidized housing, where you're actually collecting a portion of your tenant's rent from the government, directly from the government,
Yeah.
then it's just one of those things where it's like, well, you got in bed with government, and so I guess sucks for you.
Yeah, and I don't know how well this will apply to South Dakota, because we didn't really shut down at all, and we have a really low unemployment rate. So I don't know. I don't like the idea of government coming in and telling private property owners what they can and cannot do, who they can and cannot evict from their properties.
That's why I say I think it's got.
But the government did come and lock down a lot of the United States, like all the other states shut down. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm really just gonna abstain from this one because it's a case by case basis, really, on how I would judge it. If you lost your job because of a government lockdown and you can't afford your mortgage, I can see how this is a good thing, because the government costs you your job anyways. But then again, they're telling a private property owner that they can't evict you from their private property. So
it's just moving one step closer to government housing is all that is.
Yeah, it's a dangerous slope to slip down.
All right, well, we'll go to the next one.
Yeah, let's just go to the next one. I'm just gonna give this a thumb up and a thumb down, so they cancel out my libertarian rating here.
So another executive order, and mind you, these were all done within hours of him taking office. But the next one, continued pause on federal student loan payments through September. So no interest, no payments. Sounds like a car commercial.
Yeah. If they're just gonna delay the payments till September, and then you just have to pay for 9 months more. after September. I don't see a harm in that. I think the federal student loans is a scam. They're targeting 17, 18-year-olds who don't really know anything about finances, and they aren't taught any of this crap in public schools. And it's not really crap. This is actually important information to know when you're 17 and 18. You're about to graduate and be in the job market in America. You need to know about finances, mortgages, student loan payments. Yeah, I'm gonna say I agree with this personally. I don't know I don't know what the libertarian perspective exactly would be. I think the government, the whole student loan business is a big fraud, and I think it should end. And I think it's driving up tuition costs myself as well. But yeah, just pausing this federal student loan payments through September, I don't see the harm in that. It's the federal government that we're owed money to anyways. Like, it's not like the taxpayer paid for this, because ones were just, they made that money nothing, basically. They just typed a bunch of buttons in their computer, like, all right, here's your money for your school. It's like, it's not like taxpayers they're not actually, that's not going from a taxpayer fund to fund the student loans.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if you take out student loans, you should probably pay them back. But I think I don't really understand the whole point of charging interest on the student loan debt.
Yeah,
Because
I think
if the money's just owed to the government, anyways, why am I paying interest to the government and I'm already paying taxes and everything else?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they should cancel all the interest on the federal loans. And I don't have a problem with suspending payments till September. I mean, the government shut down 49 states out of the 50 states in this country. People don't have jobs to pay off their.
Lost you. Uh-oh. Looks like his internet went down. That's funny. Why is it so? Looks like we lost Devin there. Technical difficulties. I don't know what that's about. Well,
Hey, you back? There
are
you
you
go.
back?
Yeah, a little glitch out there.
Oops.
But yeah.
So anyway, we'll do the last one here quick. Mandate wearing masks on all federal property and by all federal employees.
Yeah, I'm gonna give that a 2 thumbs down. I think I don't agree with government mandates on anything. I think mask. If you're a private business owner and you want people to wear masks in your business, yeah, you absolutely have the right to put that sign up on the front of your door and have people wear masks and kick them out if they don't wear masks. I noticed that the press secretary, Biden's new press secretary, wasn't wearing a mask during her press conference, which is federal property. So they're already violating their own rules and their own mandates. So I feel as if this is a mandate for you, but not a mandate for thee. And I don't agree with that at all. I think it should be a voluntary thing.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of masks, period. I got asthma, I'm overweight. They make me freaking, I can't breathe in the damn things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like them. I couldn't imagine. Luckily, I work from home, but I couldn't imagine these people that have to wear a mask all day, every day at work.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do it. In
Yeah,
fact,
that's kinda crazy.
if I had to go get a job working in the community right now, that would probably be my question. It's like, well, do you have to wear a mask? Oh, yeah, you do? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not interested.
Yeah, it's just I think it's just a political stunt. Like doesn't really do anything. Federal property, how much? Like I live in a small town of like 2,000 people. There's no federal property here at all, so it doesn't really affect me.
Post office.
Oh, I guess the post office, huh? Well, I don't know. Our post office has like a plastic screen or guard up that's always been up. Like you slide your mail underneath the little slot, so it's just like it's me wearing a it's me wearing a mask in my local post office going to protect them because they're already pretty protected from anything. But then again, like when I go into a store, if they got it, like wear a mask to come inside, I put on a mask. If they don't have a sign up, I don't really care. I mean, like I said, I live in a town of 2,000 people. COVID-19 isn't really a big thing here. We're isolated from urban centers across the country. We don't even like my small town isn't even off the interstate. Like we live like in the boondocks, in the middle of nowhere. So, I can't really speak for people that live in a big city. That's probably a different issue completely on mask usage. I wouldn't even want to live in a big city right now with the pandemic going on. Myself, I feel kind of safe here out in Lenox, South Dakota.
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to live in a big city regardless of the pandemic.
Yeah.
No, thank you. When society crumbles, you guys are going to be in for a rough time.
Yeah. That's one of the benefits I would say living in a small town is that you'll get a head start once the society collapses for sure. But yeah, that's all we had. Oh, yeah, one more?
I got one more thing I did a little research on. It's since we were covering Trump's departing pardons, I thought we could talk real quick. I'll just read through what I had written down.
Right.
And then we can discuss it real quick if you want. But
yeah.
Concerning federal executions, President Donald Trump's Justice Department resumed federal executions last year following a 17-year hiatus. No president in more than 120 years had overseen as many federal executions as Donald Trump in the last year. The number of federal death sentences carried out under Trump since 2020 is more than in the previous 56 years combined, reducing the number of prisoners on federal death row by nearly 25%. About 50 people are left on death row federally. And then Lisa Montgomery was the first woman executed in 70 years and the only woman on death row. Biden says he will end federal executions.
Yeah, I don't trust the government getting it right regarding criminal cases. A lot of times they've convicted innocent people. Like we've all watched Making a Murderer. There's so many more cases that are identical to that. So for that reason, I'm totally against federal government executions. I know that I am involved with the Guillotine Caucus, where we passively aggressively talk about executing pedophiles. But yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with the federal government doing it. But if there's like a astounding amount of evidence, like just undeniably amount, like you were caught with the smoking gun, you admitted to it. Even then, like there's a lot of false confessions too. But there's some people that admit to it and are proud of it. Yeah, those people I don't really care if they get executed, but generally speaking, I'm skeptical that the government is accurate on how many people. Like I know that there's people on death row now that are completely innocent, so I don't want them to be executed. I want them to be released. So I don't know.
Well, the guy the guy that was executed a week ago or whenever it was, the last one to get executed, he was executed for the murder of 3 girls. But when you read the court case, he was there when they were killed, but he's not actually even the one that pulled the trigger and
Mhm.
killed those girls. And the guy that actually pulled the trigger and killed the girls was sentenced to life in prison.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
that
that's
doesn't even
bullshit.
that kind of arbitrary bullshit is why I'm not a fan of the death penalty. The Libertarian Party, they actually are against, their platform is being against the death penalty. I would say I'm generally opposed to the death penalty. Like you said, they get it wrong. There's
Mhm.
innocent people that have been put to death or that are sitting on death row right now as we speak. Um,
Mhm.
but again, I would qualify that kind of like you did, like in the case of like these active shooter scenarios where you got like that Dylan and Root or whatever,
Mhm.
who shot up that black church and killed a dozen people.
Yeah.
Like, he did it. You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
In his and watch, he doesn't even get and maybe he already went to court, but watch that guy doesn't even get the death penalty. But
Yeah.
I think these active shooters, these mass shooters, these people that go in and shoot up a mall or shoot up a school or something like that. I mean, if when there's 100 witnesses or whatever that they did it, and you admit to doing it, and you're on video doing it,
Mhm.
it's a beyond a reasonable doubt, and you know, I. But then the other side of that, the fiscal side of it, is people say, well, it costs more to put somebody to death. It costs more to execute somebody than it does for them to live out their rest of their days doing life in prison. Uh,
Yeah.
so that's just government again being a fuck up, and everything costs way too much.
But okay,
You
we got
know,
one last comment here from Roger Sanchez. This is regarding the student loans. It is driving up tuition costs. They can now charge whatever they want, blank checks that kids have to pay back throughout their lives. Yeah, I'm just not a big student loan at all. I think it's a big scam myself. And they're taking advantage of like a vulnerable sector of our society. They're 18 years old. They didn't know goddamn jack anything about corrupt these banking and federal and banking institutions are. And you know,
people are going to school a lot for shit they don't need to as well.
yeah,
You're going to
that's another
school.
thing.
You're going to school for 4 years. You're racking up $60,000 in debt, and when you're done, there
Mhm.
isn't even a job for you.
Yeah, so that wouldn't
That's the
fly. Like if you were going to a bank to get a loan for like a business loan, and you brought up some bull crap, some kind of sector of the economy that doesn't even really exist and doesn't have any jobs, like they wouldn't even give you that loan. So like why would they give you a loan for a degree that is not in demand?
Yeah, a perfect example would be like you want to go to school to become an art major, but you want to go to Harvard to do it. And it's like, if you're a private bank, it's like, I'm not loaning you $200,000 to go study art. Like, no. But
Yeah.
if you want $200,000 to become a doctor,
Yeah.
because I know you can actually pay me back once you're done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just the thing where like, there's a lot of these degrees that would be served way more efficiently if it was like an apprenticeship. Like Leonardo da Vinci didn't go to goddamn college to be a freaking artist. He was an apprentice. And then he learned how to paint from his like tutor or whatever. And then he eventually became a better painter than the guy who was teaching him. And the guy who was teaching him quit painting forever because his student was like such a badass. Maybe he was old too, and it's like I'm gonna retire too, but I don't even know. But yeah, dude, I think the federal loan system is a big scam. I wouldn't regard it as student loan forgiveness. When it comes to the interest, I would call that as fraud relief myself. Personally, that's my personal opinion. I know that's not a popular libertarian opinion, but yeah, that's just what I think.
Well, the progressives and the Democrats are pushing Biden in that same article. They said that they're pushing Biden to do up to $50,000 debt forgiveness. But we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, it's I don't know. That might be a little excessive to me. Like, I'm only supporting canceling the interest because I think it's bull crap that they're charging interest on these fraudulent loans. But yeah, we can talk about that for a whole episode. Really,
if the government just wrote everyone a check for $1.5 million,
you're cutting out, Greg.
I don't know.
You might want to repeat what you just said. Yeah, there you go. You're back again.
Oh, I said if the government just wants to cut everyone a check for $1.5 million, if we can just do all this ourselves.
You know, like, screw it, man. They're giving away all this money anyways. Why not? Let's just accelerate the collapse, whatever.
That reminds me of that old Dave Chappelle skit where they gave all the black people reparation money. Did you ever see that? It'd be the same thing. I mean, yeah, it'd be the same thing. I mean, this isn't a racial thing. This is an everybody thing. But if the government just wrote everyone a check for $100,000 tomorrow, the people that are good with money would, they would really benefit from that. But the people that are terrible with money,
they're gonna
just still be broke.
Like a week.
Yeah, they'd still be broke 6 months from now.
Well. But yeah, that's our show. Thanks for watching. If you like this content, we'd appreciate it if you could like us on Facebook, Hedgehog Watchdog. We're also at Hedgehog Watchdog on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at Hedgehog WDog. If you want to sponsor our show and help us with production costs, you can email us at hedgehogwatchdog@gmail.com. We'll get back to you right away. And thanks for tuning in. We'll be back here next week. I think what do you got? Daryl Root from former. He's our treasurer of the Libertarian Party of South Dakota. He's also a state senate candidate in 2020. You'll be here. We're going to talk about the debt. And he's a great guy to talk about the debt with us. As I said, he's our treasurer. He knows a lot about this stuff. And he also owns a seasoning company. He'll be talking about all about that as well, I'm sure. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you next Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
See you next week.
See ya.